Hello, everybody, and welcome to Atlanta, Georgia, and the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Two to go, and not as in laps. Two races left until the chase begins. And again, Atlanta Motor Speedway right now, race number 25 on the 2013 Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series presented by Bob Earl Racing Season. Hello, everybody. My name is Ed Pasoko. Joining me up in the booth again this weekend, Harrison Weidlitz. Harrison, we're coming to the 1.54 mile racetrack, so basically a 1.5. The most popular style of track in NASCAR, a rough track on the equipment, though. What are you expecting for tonight's race?
Yeah, Atlanta Motor Speedway is definitely one of the more difficult 1.5 mile tracks on the circuit. The track needs a lot of partial throttle. You spin the tires at all, you heat those rear tires up, and you will be on for a ride throughout the run. So this is a really difficult track. Right now, as they're qualifying, I think we'll see people not be able to recreate their best times from practice. It's really hard to be consistent here, and while there's a lot of close times, I think there's going to be about 3 or 4 cars that separate themselves from the rest as we get a lot of green flag laps in. So a very difficult track, possibly the most difficult 1.5 mile D oval that we go to all season.
And definitely, let's look back at last week. We'll run you guys through the finishing results. We were at the Bristol Motor Speedway, the last great Coliseum, 200 laps. Chad Cole went to victory lane, getting another all-important win going into the chase. Then Guy Snyder, the fourth, great night out for him, finished in the second spot. Point leader Dwayne Vincent finished in third. Mike King took that home in the fourth, and top five was CJ LeVere.
Rich Jett was able to get a 6th place finish, which was a nice run for him. Jade Williams in 7th, followed by Joseph Hayes, finishing in 8th at Bristol, followed by Chris Cable and Ronnie Potts rounding out the top 10 last week.
Again, two to go until the chase here. So we're going to take a look at the points now. And again, we really got to look around that bubble. The top guys are pretty much locked in. We'll start it off. Point leader Dwayne Vincent, 888 points right now up front. 10 wins. Remember, they're going to get bonus points for however many wins they have when we get to the chase. Chad Cole, second in points, 7 wins. So these guys are really only going for wins. Guy Snyder, the fourth, third in points, but no win at this 138 back from Vincent. Rich Jett, fourth, 184 back with 1 win. And then CJ LeVere in fifth, 198 points back off Dwayne Vincent up front.
And Ronnie Potts, over 200 points behind the leader, currently showing 6th in points, followed by Jose Gonzalez, also with 1 win to his credit. In 8th right now, we have John Abbott, followed by Mark Bratcher. He has actually missed 3 races, but currently sitting 9th in points. And rounding out the top 10 is Mike King, who is only 5 points to the good over Doug Roth. And neither driver has a win so far this season, so it's a heated battle to get that last top 10 spot before the wild cards.
Yeah, you mentioned 10th place, Mike King, no win. 267 back from Vincent. You mentioned right behind him, 11th place, Doug Roth, who was 10th last week, nearly 5 or 6 points behind King. He does not have a win. Neither does Steve Gottschalk in 12th, and neither does Ben Burnett in 13th position, or Justin Wilson in 14th. So those 4 guys, they're on that bubble, need to get it done this race and then next week at Richmond if they want to get into the chase. The 2 drivers that would be the wild card at this point actually are Ben Burnett and Justin Wilson, with 2 wins for Burnett, 1 for Wilson actually. Or sorry, no, 1 for Chris Cable, 2 for Steve Ritter. I'm getting my numbers mixed up. So Cable and Ritter actually, 15th and 16th, would get the 11th and 12th spots going into the chase. We have to keep an eye on all those guys around that bubble trying to get into the chase, as well as Chad Cole maybe trying to get another win to get more bonus points as he tries to get that advantage on Vincent going into the chase again. We're at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, and let's take a quick look at the facts of this racetrack. Again, a capacity crowd, 125,000 people on hand. The owner and operator is Speedway Motorsports Incorporated. We're located in Henry County, Georgia. This track in specific opened on July 31st of 1960 for a price tag of $1.8 million. The quad oval, not really a tri-oval if you look similar to Charlotte, it's technically considered a quad oval, 1.54 miles long. The turns banked at 24 degrees. The straightaway is banked at 5 degrees.
Yeah, and while the dimensions are quite similar to, I would say, a Charlotte and Texas, all 3 tracks react very differently for these drivers' cars. Atlanta is a very big challenge. We saw an incredible amount of fall off in the Cup race last night on ESPN. But for iRacing, Atlanta actually has a little bit more grip in the center of the corner, but there's still very little grip to the rear tires. And these guys are going to be fighting just how much throttle to give the car all race long. There's very little rear grip, not much drive off. So it'll be really interesting to see how these drivers take care of their tires for much of the run.
And definitely pretty much that qualifying is wrapping up. Some drivers still on the racetrack as we're getting ready to go into the drivers meeting right now. Dwayne Vincent currently at the top of qualifying charts with a time of 28.433. Something to note again, Chad Cole, him and Vincent have been 1-2 in the points lately, and they always seem to be 1-2 on the racetrack. Chad Cole 15th right now in qualifying, so that 8 car has a little bit of ground to make up if he wants to get a good night going. Time is winding down, just about 2.5 minutes left until these drivers take to the grid. Again, they're going through their pre-race briefing with the race officials. Harrison, before we get started here, what are you expecting for tonight's race? I know we talked about the track earlier on. Are we going to have long green flag runs, and maybe possibly who do you think is going to be in victory lane by the time this thing's over?
You know, it's tough to say. It's hard to bet against Dwayne Vincent. 10 wins out of 24 races. What we just saw in qualifying is Dwayne Vincent picked up a 10th and a half. And on the opposite side of the coin, Chad Cole, unable to match what he ran in practice. Chad Cole was the fastest in practice. So we'll have to watch Chad Cole moving through the field. I do believe he will come up through. Also, I think the 33 of David Lanza will be one to watch. He qualified 11th, but he seems to be one to watch on the long runs, and fresh off of a second place finish with the Asphalt Assault Series here in Atlanta on Thursday. So I guess my pick for the win would be Dwayne Vincent, but he will be challenged, and it's really going to come between probably 5 or 6 different drivers will have a shot at this one.
And definitely, I'm going to have to agree with you here. 13, Dwayne Vincent, you mentioned he wasn't the fastest in practice. He was actually 11th fastest. He got the qualifying lap done, which is what he needed to do. He's up top last year. He finished 5th in this race. Chad Cole, again, finished 3rd. It was Landon Huffman actually took the win last year. So I'm going to have to agree with you. Dwayne Vincent, the victory lane, but it's time to go down trackside for the national anthem performed by the Cactus Cuties.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And now we're going to send it down trackside for the most famous words in motorsports. Sitting on the pole for this race, Dwayne Vincent with a qualifying time of 2.84 is going to start in that number 1 spot. To his outside on row 1 to 45 of Cale Dresbach.
Row number 2, to the inside will be Jose Gonzalez, and to his outside, Justin Wilson.
Row 3 on the inside, the number 15, Rhett McBride to his outside, and 6, the 52 of Brian Lambert.
Row number 4 will have the 91 of Steve Gottschalk to the inside, and Mark Bratcher in the 38 starting 8th.
Inside row number 5, 9th starting position, the 20 of Mike Montesi. Outside, the number 81, Stephen Almendo.
Coming from 11th will be the number 33 of David Lanza, and coming from 12th will be the 47 of Eric Arnold.
Starting 13th, the 25, Nick Silver. 14th, the 66 of Brian Harvey.
Starting 15th will be the number 8 of Chad Cole, and to his outside, the 77 of J. Randall Watkins.
17th is going to be the 27 of Guy Snyder the 4th. 18th, the 43 of Doug Roth.
Coming from 19th will be John Abbott, and the 29 car coming from 20th, that's Brennan Mercer.
Ben Burnett's going to roll the 37 off the grid 21st. Another one of those guys looking to get that 10th spot into the chase. 22nd, also the 44, Glenn Campbell.
Adam Roberts will be starting 23rd this evening, and Jade Williams to his outside.
Starting 25th, the 82, Doug Fleming. 26th, the 14, Jody Aquino.
And row number 14, we'll see Steve Ritter to the inside, and CJ LaVere coming from the back, 28th.
Starting 29th, it's the 04, Mike King. Starting 30th, the 05, Chris Cable.
31st will be Joseph Hayes, and 32nd, 4th place in points, Rich Jett.
33rd is the number 12 of Douglas Wyatt. 34th, the 97 of Nathan Little. And then on the back row will be the 62, John Wilco. Starting in the 35th and final starting position. The field is doubled up behind the pace car. Lights are off, and the capacity crowd again of 125,000 at the Atlanta Motor Speedway begin to slowly rise to their feet as we get ready to go green flag racing from the Atlanta Motor Speedway. The Ford First Racing Mustang pace car taking a dive to the safety of pit road. There he goes. The field is in the hands of Dwayne Vincent. The 13 is off, and the green flag is out.
Yeah, and Dwayne Vincent starts lap 1 with a great start. Cale Dressback with a very solid qualifying run gets into second. They're still side by side for third with the 26 of Jose Gonzalez alongside Justin Wilson in the 58. But Dwayne Vincent out to an early lead as they are going to battle pretty quickly for second place. Jose Gonzalez taking a look underneath the 45 of Cale Dressback, but it looks like Dressback will get the position.
Yeah, definitely. That was Gonzalez made his way around the 58 of Wilson, got the run on the bottom actually off turn 2, and that's how he's going to move himself up into that third position right now. Dwayne Vincent again single fouled out right now through about the top 5. Taking a look, everybody made it through clean and were pretty much single filed out all the way through the field at this point in the race. The only competition really 20th position, 29, Brennan Mercer just had to check up. Now he is slow going down the straightaway after nearly making contact with Ben Burnett.
Yeah, right in front of him, the 37 of Ben Burnett just got loose in the middle of 3 and 4. On cold tires, these things can be really loose. Really, they can be loose all run long, but you have to watch the throttle. And Ben Burnett got a little loose. Could have been worse. Both drivers able to save it. But I think a lot of these guys are looking to fan out a little bit and get into a rhythm. Actually, right around Ben Burnett, the 37, there were a lot of cars racing right there. Burnett getting really high and going backwards right now. But these drivers just doing all they can to keep their cars under control and try to get into a rhythm.
Right now we're side by side right for the 8th spot. The 52, Brian Lambert on the top, is going to lose that spot maybe to the 91. Oh, 91 comes up. 52 slides up. Contact with the wall. Brian Lambert, 8th spot, making contact with Gottschalk. And now the 52 car is going to slide back and lose at least 5 spots into 3.
Yeah, that 91 of Gottschalk definitely apologetic. He did not mean to slide up. But Brian Lambert, he did get into the outside wall. But he might be okay depending on how he hit it. He got back up to speed pretty quickly. He'll have to look on that right front, make sure that he did not mess up the toe in any way for that right front tire. But a couple of cars in front of him, we see the number 8 of Chad Cole, who had that disappointing qualifying run. Right now working underneath the 47 of Eric Arnold, and he will get that spot. So Chad Cole just completing the pass for the 10th position, who started 15th. So 5 laps complete in this one, moving forward.
And definitely our top 3 drivers top 3 finishing drivers from last year's race that are in this race. 3rd place last year was the 8 of Chad Cole. 4th place, John Abbott. John Abbott's currently sitting 18th, and then 5th place last year, Dwayne Vincent currently sitting up front. So those are definitely some names to keep an eye on right now. Vincent's opening up a little bit of a gap over Cale Dresbach. Dresbach right now dropping back to the 3rd spot, which allows the 26 of Jose Gonzalez actually to move to the 2nd position that last time by.
Yeah, and I actually drove these cars a bit this week, and I was a little bit surprised at how much the draft helped. These cars have a lot of horsepower, but you get into a line, and a lot of times if you're a little bit loose, running behind someone will help the handling of your car a lot. But these cars have a lot of power, and you are able to distance yourself. But while Dwayne Vincent jumped out a little bit, Jose Gonzalez, his good lap right there, was able to knock off a 10th and a half. So Jose Gonzalez in the 26 working his way up towards the 13 of Dwayne Vincent and getting closer and closer every corner. Right now, about 3 car lengths back.
And definitely just taking a look back in the pack, 8th position right now, the 81 Steven Almindo just lost a handful of spots. They're actually side by side right in front of him, and a caution flag is going to fly. There's an incident on the racetrack. Caution will fly on lap 8 at the 77 car involved. It is J. Randall Watkins. I do believe will be the cause of the caution. Oh, he was involved with the 29 of Brennan Mercer. I'm going to take a look at the replay. It is the 77, J. Randall Watkins, off turn 2 on lap 8. Just got a little bit too high and barely scraped that outside wall. And he got way out of shape, got loose, and when he came back up on the bottom, the 29 of Mercer was trying to make a pass, I believe, on the 44 of Glenn Campbell, and the 29 drove into him, so 29 backed that into the inside wall hard, and 77 and 29 have damage.
Yeah, the 77 just bounced it off the wall, and that sent him down the track. Sometimes it feels like rubber, and what happened with the 29 working his way below that car trying to complete a pass, he was stuck on the low side, and the 77 was correcting his car on the apron, and it looked like the 77 of Watkins was going to drift back up into traffic and head to the outside wall again. So Brennan Mercer choosing to cut left as the 77 was actually able to cut his car left. So it's a tough break for Brennan Mercer, and J. Randall Watkins will be out of the race. He has pulled his car behind the wall, and they have taken away his scoring card. So he has decided to park his machine and load up.
And definitely taking a look, Jose Gonzalez and Eric Arnold staying out on the racetrack. Everybody else has come down pit road to service their race cars, including the 13 of Vincent, who was the leader. Everybody else came down and took 4 tires. So Gonzalez and Eric Arnold up front. No tires and no fuel for these guys. The strategy already kicking in here early, only on lap 10. Again, cause of the caution was pointed at the J. Randall Watkins number 77 machine. Obviously an unfortunate incident, and the 29 Mercer also was stuck in a tough predicament. You mentioned he really couldn't go anywhere. He tried to go left, and that's where the 77 went. If that 29 yanked that wheel to the right, he could have taken out more cars. Just a racing deal down the back straightaway. Again, 77 in the garage, and the 29 servicing his car on pit road. So Brennan Mercer's night, not the start that he was looking for.
Yeah, not at all. And when you're coming up on a car that's out of control like that, and you're trying to, you're basically anticipating where you think it's going to go. Brennan Mercer, unfortunately, just guessed the wrong way, and that is a mistake that anyone who has raced one of these cars makes. I know I've done that a number of times, and certainly it's very frustrating. The 29 of Brennan Mercer is currently on pit road trying to fix all the damage that he can, but certainly to track this fast, he will likely not be able to carry the speed that he was. So it's just going to be a race of riding around at this point and trying to get what he can. So a lot of damage to that car. And as we said, the only other car involved did park his car for the evening. I think he had just too much damage to continue, or he just didn't want to crawl around a couple seconds off the pace. Certainly, it could be a painful experience running these cars when they're very far off the pace and very damaged. But the cars are doubling up, getting ready for the restart, and I'm a little bit worried about those 2 drivers who stayed out. Certainly, they will not have the grip of the cars behind them. So the guys behind them will be trying to make quick work of them to be able to jump out and pull away from their competition. So it could be a little bit sketchy in the opening laps here after this restart.
Yeah, definitely. This track eats away at the tires. Another quick note, Doug Fleming, last car in the lead lap, 32nd, is not like his steering setup right now, so keep an eye on him. But the Ford First Racing Mustang pace car is going to dive down to the safety of pit road. Jose Gonzalez in control of the field. Green flag is out. There goes the 26. Now we're side-by-side bump drafting basically up front for that second spot. The 47 of Arnold getting a shot from the 58 of Wilson. Dwayne Vincent in at 13 on the bottom, experiencing some electrical issues on the caution. He's going to get down by the 47. Eric Arnold slides up, and Vincent back to second, and we're side-by-side for third.
Yeah, I was a little more worried about the 47 than the 26 because Jose Gonzalez was running second and chasing down the leader. The 47, as we see on the high side of Eric Arnold, was running 11th before that caution. And he's up to a slightly better pace than I expected him to be, just because tires are so important here that I really thought that he would be struggling. But right now he is faded into around 8th, but the 91 car of Steve Gottschalk looking to get by him right now, looking underneath that 47. But so far so good. Jose Gonzalez actually still in the lead, but Dwayne Vincent in the 13 has pulled right up to him and will be looking to make that pass going down the front stretch.
Side by side at the line, the 26 Gonzalez on the top. 13 Vincent's going to go around to take that first position. We have some conflict going on about mid-pack. The 81 of Steven Almindo exchanging words with the 20. This is a big pack, 2 and 3 wide back here, all around this 10th position, trying to keep track of everything that's going around right here. 43 Doug Roth possibly making contact with that 81 car of Almindo, but that is a big group of cars right there mid-pack.
Yeah, a lot of racing going on in the middle of the pack. And actually, I think one of the drivers that really capitalized on that start, the 38, I believe, of Mark Bratcher was in the right place. He restarted somewhere around 5th or 6th, and as they worked around the two drivers who stayed out, or more so the 47, Jose still showing in 3rd, right behind the 38 of Mark Bratcher, but Bratcher with a great restart, able to bring himself to the 2nd position, which is as highest as he's run so far in the 16 laps that we have run. But a nice job by Mark Bratcher to get himself to the 2nd position, right now running good lap times.
And definitely, again, still under the green flag at the moment. Vincent back up front by 2/10 of a second over Mark Bratcher. Gonzalez sitting in 3rd. That big group of cars around mid-pack is starting to break up. We're side-by-side for 9th spot right now. The 91 Gottschalk on the top is getting pressure from the 33 of David Lanza going into turn number 1. They're going to be side-by-side. 33 is going to drive it in. Oh, they get real close going into the corner. Lanza's going to get the run off, and the 91 is going to slide back and lose 2 spots, almost making contact with the 47 of Arnold.
Yeah, what you saw right there is I don't think the 91 meant to run him so tight in 1 to 2, but it's very easy to get loose here. And I think he lost the nose a little bit, and once he started coming down the track, you saw him immediately try to bring it back up. So this is one of those tracks where you'll see a lot of people actually give more room than they usually do, just because it's so easy to not quite hold the bottom. As David Lanza in the 33 has moved his way up to the 9th position as of right now.
And definitely right now, 32 cars on the lead lap of the 35. The lucky dog at this point would be the 29 of Brendan Mercer, who was involved in that incident earlier. 1 lap down. Then you have Ben Burnett in the 37, who is one of those drivers in that bubble. Ben Burnett came into tonight 13th without a win on pit road, 9 laps down. 37 going to catch a tough break, and this could kill his chase of hopes tonight right now. And then, of course, J. Randall Watkins in the garage at this point in the race. Vincent still leading up front. Mark Bratcher now in the 2nd position, getting his way around Jose Gonzalez. That 38's moving up quick.
Yeah, and actually about Ben Burnett, he was one of the drivers who got involved in the caution that I did not catch. He got in there kind of late when the 77 was headed back up the track for the final time. Ben Burnett was committed high, and then he had to switch low, and that's how he sustained all that damage. So Ben Burnett, this is not going to be a good points night for him, possibly the nail in the coffin, so to speak, for his chase hopes, because he will likely be 40 or 50 points out with 2 races left after this one, I do believe. Yes, actually, exactly 2 races left after this one. But Mark Bratcher, actually we see Dwayne Vincent with a couple of connection issues right now, but so far holding strong. But Mark Bratcher getting pressured now. Obviously, Jose Gonzalez has quite a bit of speed in that number 26 car, as he is able, as these tires sort of level out to their long run lap times. But he catches the wall out of turn number 4, and the number 8 of Chad Cole heads underneath him, will get the 3rd position. So Chad Cole, disappointing qualifying run, qualified 15th. But right now, working under the 38 of Mark Bratcher, coming out of turn number 2, looking for... Oh, he makes contact with Bratcher. Bratcher into the inside wall. Chad Cole might be able to keep it off.
Again, Cole pretty much stopped on the bottom. Chad Cole, tough break, 2nd in points. No caution flag will fly at the moment. Bratcher was sitting in the 2nd spot. He has front end damage. Taking a look again, it was just Chad Cole pushed up the track, caught the 38. And this is going to be a tough break for both of these drivers as they are coming into pits.
Yeah, that was a situation where they were far enough down on the apron that the caution was not triggered. But as the number 8 came out at turn number 2, the 38 above him got loose at the same time. So Chad was expecting Mark to be a little bit closer to the wall, but he was not. Chad, obviously Mark Bratcher getting the worst of that, hitting the inside wall hard. Chad Cole may have a little bit of right front fender damage to fix, but overall, he will come away from that relatively unscathed. He will just need a caution. I do believe he will catch a caution at some point with a lot of laps to go. Right now showing 12 seconds behind the leader at the moment, but he lost a lot of track positions, certainly. So Chad was running 15th and just about to qualified 15th, and was about to complete the pass for 2nd position. And at this point, he will have to fight back from, he was, I believe, 30th, right now showing 28th.
And this can have very big chase implications. The 38, Mark Bratcher, came into tonight 9th in the points with no wins. And Doug Roth was sitting 11th, so looking on the outside in, is sitting 19th. Bratcher 33rd, so Bratcher could possibly drop out of the top 10 and have to race his way in next week at Richmond. So again, Mark Bratcher 9th going into the night with no win is on pit road. Another strange turn of events here with only 2 races to go until the chase. Some of these drivers not enjoying their night so far. One driver that is, though, it's Dwayne Vincent. He's sitting up front right now. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back from Atlanta Motor Speedway for some more green flag action. This is ETV Live's live coverage of the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series presented by Bob Earl Racing.
Race fans, it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Travis, start your engines!
Michael Conti comes up at a corner number 4 in the checkered flag. He wins his first NASCAR iRacing.
Inside SimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
Back still under the green flag here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. It is ETV Live's live coverage of the 2013 Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series presented by Bob Earl Racing. We're going to take a quick moment to talk about Bob Earl Racing and the VRC Mark II Virtual Racing Seat, a simulation racing cockpit designed by championship race car driver Bob Earl. Who better than a real race car driver to design a simulation racing cockpit? After all, he knows what it means to be comfortable behind the wheel. The design features a fully adjustable seat and frame. Additional monitor stand and shifter mount is sold separately. Proud sponsor of the 2013 Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series, a high quality and affordable virtual racing cockpit priced at only $349 plus shipping. See it at www.bobearlracing.com. Again, the winner at the end of the chase is going to take one of those things home.
And that's a pretty cool deal. And actually, something that caught my eye right now. We noted David Lanza, who had moved from his 11th qualifying position up to 9th. Since we've last spoken about him, right now he is chasing down that second place battle. Currently being shown in 5th position, but he is running some of the fastest times on the track, so he's looking to be a factor. Dwayne Vincent, though, edging Justin Wilson right now by about a second and 3/10. So Dwayne is looking for this race to keep on being green as he is edging away from the field. But a nice battle for second is shaping up between Justin Wilson, Jose Gonzalez, who has not yet pitted this race, and then behind them they have Cale Dressback in the 45, and David Lanza is working his way to them, and I think he will be arriving within 4 laps or so. But so far, a nice battle for second as Jose Gonzalez in the 26 tries to work around Justin Wilson.
Another thing to note, 2 more cars to the garage. Brian Harvey and Nathan Little tangled up 6 laps ago. No caution flag for that. They are both back behind the wall and will finish in the 31st. No worse or no better than the 31st and 32nd finishing positions. Also, Jose Gonzalez, who reassumed second place after Chad Cole made contact there up front with the other cars. Now it is Justin Wilson in the 58 car making his way around Gonzalez, but they're really not making up much time on Dwayne Vincent. Vincent actually pulling away maybe a little bit. He's got about a 1.2 second lead at the moment as we work lap 36.
Yeah, and going back to that incident with Brian Harvey, I believe it was Nathan Little, he just caught the wall going down the backstretch, and coming at it too, if you're losing grip and then you get into that outside wall, it'll just pretty much just get your car all completely out of whack, and both cars went to the inside and contacted the inside wall, and both cars sustaining a lot of damage. They were both on the apron, so it did not bring out that caution, but certainly a lot of damage for them both, as we do have a couple of cars going a lap down already at this point. But Dwayne Vincent right now with still about a 1.5 second lead on Justin Wilson, but Jose Gonzalez not able to complete that pass on the 58, but as these tires have worn, it does appear that the 26 of Gonzalez might be a little bit faster than him, but catching someone and passing them are 2 entirely different things.
And definitely, and Vincent continuing to pull away a little bit now, 1.3 second lead right now. Maybe his car's a little bit stronger on the long runs. Taking a look to the field, no real hardcore battles going on at this point. The 8 of Chad Cole, who got tangled up in an incident earlier on that did not bring out a caution, dropped way back to the field after working his way up from a 15th starting position, actually cracked the top 5, then got in that incident. He is back in the 22nd spot, just made his way around Guy Snyder at the 4th in the 27th, so actually Chad Cole back up to 21st, trying to make damage control right now on the racetrack.
Yeah, Chad Cole has not caught that caution yet, and he's kept a pretty similar pace to what the leaders are running, so he's still 12.5 seconds back. The 27 gets really sideways out of turn number 2, able to save it right now, bringing it back up to speed. And you saw, as you know, when you get loose like that out of 2, as you watch the 27 right now, he is really loose. It's going to take a couple laps for him to bring the tire temperatures, or that right rear tire temperature down. When you get sideways like that, it'll just heat up in a hurry and make you loose for a while. So Guy Snyder right now is doing all that he can to hold on to that race car and then get the handling back to it and get after it.
And definitely more incidents going on the racetrack with some lap cars. No incidents as of this point in the race. Dwayne Vincent continuing to have minor electrical issues with his sim. The car keeps blinking in and out occasionally. That can go downhill real quick if that happens in a big pack of cars. But he's up front all by himself at this point now, a 1.7 second lead over Wilson. But just another thing to note about Dwayne Vincent, the point leader, 10 wins this season. Having maybe some electrical issues, so we're going to keep an eye on that as the night goes on. He's looking to put the 29 of Brennan Mercer another lap down. That's going to put Brennan 2 laps down at this point, which would give the 69 of Joseph Hayes, who is significantly off speed, the current lucky dog position as of now on the racetrack. If a caution were to come out, again, Vincent crossing the line to take lap 44 of 130 laps at a 1.54 racetrack equals pretty much exactly 200 miles, so a pretty long distance for tonight's race.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, I just saw Jose Gonzalez in the number 26 who was able to work his way around Justin Wilson. So Gonzalez right now has made his way back into the second position, and second through fifth right now are very close. Jose pulling away from Justin Wilson at the moment. Kel Dressback holding steady in fourth, and Dave Lanza, has made his way pretty close to these guys. So he might be riding a little bit right now with still about 85 laps to go this time by, I believe. But he is close enough that he can start making his way around. Actually, there's a few guys running slowly around the apron. We just saw John Wilco, who I don't know if he possibly has a fuel issue, maybe low on gas, or if he had an incident. But I saw 2 or 3 different cars running pretty slowly. Actually, there was an incident on the backstretch. John Wilco in the number 62 hit the outside wall, and then it careened down. He was trying to stay out of everyone's way, and it careened down into the inside wall. He might have had a steering issue. He just had it cranked left. He might have just been trying to... the 27 Guy Snyder, who we saw having issues before, what happened there was just John Wilco was being pretty courteous and trying to get out of everyone's way, but the 27 got loose in front of him, and then he got loose himself, so John Wilco brought it down pit road and is repairing the damage that he could take care of at the moment.
Another thing to note, another car that came down pit road that wasn't involved in an incident at 29, Brennan Mercer, now 3 laps down in 30th spot, came down to put 4 tires and get some fuel in that car. So maybe short pitting, trying to see if he can somehow get his laps back, because again, now he went from 1 lap down to 3 laps now, so that's going to be hard for him to try to get back on that lead lap. As of now, right now, race leader Dwayne Vincent last time by ran a 29.5, Gonzalez in second a 29.4. So let's see if Jose Gonzalez can possibly run down Dwayne Vincent, as he has worked his way around. Again, Justin Wilson passed him not too long ago. Gonzalez has taken that second spot back and is starting to pull away from the 58 of Wilson for that third spot. So Jose Gonzalez trying to make a little bit of a last-minute run, so to speak, here before we start to see green flag pit stops, as the number 20 of Mike Montesi sitting 12th is going to come down pit road this time by as he exits 2.
Yeah, what we see with Jose Gonzalez is basically this far into a run, he is not at a disadvantage for tires anymore, but he is at a disadvantage for fuel. With the caution coming out around lap 8 or 9 that Dwayne Vincent and everyone else pitted on, Jose probably has to pit 6 or 7 laps earlier. He was able to save a little bit with that caution, but... or actually, no, it would be 8 or 9. My man, I just actually had a logic failure right there. But Dwayne Vincent and Jose Gonzalez both on even tires right now. Once these tires wear to a certain point, they will run consistent for the rest of the run. So right now we do see an even playing field for those top 2, but obviously Jose was unable to keep up with his tires in the early portion of that run. But right now he's showing his long run speed is capable of winning this race. Last lap gaining about a 10.5, but certainly will have to pit before Dwayne by a good 7 or 8 laps for sure.
Hey, Dave, I had to restart my sim, so I can't double check, but I do believe it was the 47 of Arnold and 26 of Gonzalez that stayed out there on that early caution. Everybody else came down pit road, and we saw Arnold drop off real quick there. Gonzalez kind of dropped back, but you mentioned he's done a real good job as the laps wore down. He kind of got back on an even playing field, and that's going to put him up in the second position. It's not like he was deep in the pack and really had to do something crazy to get up to the front. He qualified in third. But a good job of that 26 and the driver being able to hang on to that in the early laps and then chipping away as the laps continued to wind down, as he's only 1.4 seconds back of Vincent on 10-lap older tires.
Yeah, when you take a look at these guys' lap times, if I look at the last 5 laps for Dwayne Vincent, he's run a 29.54, 59, 64, 54, and 64. Meanwhile, Jose Gonzalez, his last 5 laps, 57, 55, 52, 52, and 53. So the difference there is Dwayne seems to be a little less consistent. He's occasionally running those laps in the 29.60 range. Meanwhile, Jose has done a really good job of staying in the low 29.50s. In fact, about 6 or 7 laps ago, he was able to run a 48 and a 49. So I guess you could say that Jose Gonzalez, now 1.05 seconds off of the lead, is legitimately chasing down the leader. But certainly coming up on the fuel window as they work around a couple of slower lap cars, one of them being Guy Snyder, who is very damaged from his contact with the wall about 10 laps ago. But Jose chasing him down and probably coming up on his first pit stop relatively shortly.
And definitely lost a little bit of time there. You mentioned getting around that lap car of Guy Snyder, the 27, kind of driving at an angle. That could cause some problems if we see some lap drivers come up next to him too wide, because that 27 is all over the racetrack trying to hang on to that. You mentioned Jose Gonzalez is consistently faster than Dwayne Vincent at this point. He lost 2/10 again that last time by possibly trying to work his way around that lap car. This time by the scoring's going to update, and he's in the same place, 1.2 seconds back, running high 29.6s now. So Gonzalez trying to get back in that groove and maybe knock down some more quick laps and maybe try to catch Dwayne Vincent before they come down pit road.
Yeah, certainly lap traffic playing a factor there, which can be frustrating if you're a driver because you've just, worked your heart out and gained maybe 3 or 4 tenths, and then you could just lose it right there in 2 laps in a row. This lap, I do believe they were both an open track. Jose just ran a 6:21 and Dwayne a 59, so Dwayne able to pull 300ths right there. Something about that 27 car, when he's that yawed out, what also makes that a little bit scary is he really wants to avoid hitting the wall, because sometimes when your car is yawed out in that direction, just touching the wall can actually break something really drastically in your front suspension. And certainly I've had that happen a number of times where the car's broken and you're just trying to make it around the track and just make laps at that point. But when you try to get out of someone's way, a lot of times it causes a problem because you kind of don't have the input set for just how much you got to turn the wheel and exit when you're trying to stay high. And when you try to keep off of someone else, you end up hitting a wall, and it can break in a second. You could be from able to run to causing a big wreck. So Guy Snyder certainly knows this and is trying to avoid the wall at all costs. But just right now being shown in 24th, trying to get out of everybody's way. And actually the number 26 of Jose Gonzalez made his way down pit road, clean pit stop, no speeding penalty, 4 tires and fuel, and he is out of the out of the pits and on the gas on lap 58.
Same with the 47 of Arnold. Remember, those were the 2 guys that stayed out. So Gonzalez is going to relinquish that second position, and he's not going to lose a lap because he's getting up to speed in 3. Well, Vincent's going into 1. And one thing that could be beneficial to these guys also would be if a caution were to come out in the middle, because that would force those top runners to come down pit road. And we have seen that so many times where cars go a lap down, the caution flag will fly, and that puts a whole bunch of fast cars a lap down. At this track, you're probably not going to lose the lap unless you're already half a lap down to start with. Well, let's see how long Vincent wants to stay out, as right now the second place car of Justin Wilson is currently bump drafting with the 33 of David Lanza down the front straightaway, second and third position. Vincent pretty much all up there by himself at this point. And the 4, CJ LaVere from 11th position, is also going to hit pit road.
Yeah, CJ LeVere actually even started the race in 28th position. CJ LeVere, the first driver to not take time. So coming from 28th, CJ made his way forward. Comes down the pits now, but as David Lanza tried to work his way underneath the 58 of Justin Wilson, but not able to complete the pass and got pretty loose out of turn 4. But Lanza right now running in third behind Wilson. Something to look out for with Dwayne Vincent is, does he want a short pit? Obviously, Jose Gonzalez was his main competition right there, and as Jose pitted, certainly he's at a disadvantage for fuel, but he was only 1 second behind Dwayne when he pitted, so he's making up an incredible amount of time, and if these green flag pit stops do actually go through the whole sequence, then Dwayne will actually be a number of seconds behind Jose Gonzalez. But certainly, I think what Dwayne wants to do is wait to see what the guys in the pack behind him do. With that big number of drivers competing for second, third, fourth, fifth, he does not want to give them any advantage. So I believe it's one of those things where Jose Gonzalez can capitalize in a big way right now. But Dwayne, the safer bet is to stay out as long as you can in case a caution falls, or in case a caution falls after he pits and the 4 behind him do not pit.
And definitely Jose Gonzalez actually 1 lap down at the moment, but he is running faster lap times than Vincent by 0.4 of a second. So you mentioned the longer Vincent stays out here, the more ground possibly Gonzalez is making up. But pretty much, Vincent, you mentioned he's going to be looking at what the field does, but I can guarantee you pretty much if Vincent comes down pit road, then the whole field is going to come in behind the more cars that have recently pitted, also being the 05 of Chris Cable, I do want to say. I do believe I heard him come over the radio. He's actually on pit road at the moment. So we're seeing some lead lap cars come down pit road, but really not all of them. We haven't seen that big flock to pit road just quite yet.
And actually, seeing that the 27 of Guy Snyder parked it, he's no longer on the track, but what happened to him right before he parked it was that he actually did what I noted. He hit the wall out of turn number 2, and luckily no one was below him because it hooked his car hard left and possibly broke his car a little bit worse as he was fighting it big time on the
88 car around entering pit road. Adam Roberts, 14th position. Spins it entering pit road off turn number 4. Gonna take a look at the replay. Just came in too hot, locked it up, spun around, and nearly took out the cone. 88's gonna lose some time on that stop.
Yeah, luckily for the guys who already pitted, no caution because he did make it to pit road when he was sideways, so they remain green. Guy Snyder has pulled it in the garage, and
Vincent's coming in.
And as Dwayne Vincent enters pit road to make his pit stop.
Yeah, definitely. I just caught that over the radio. Sorry to jump in there. Also, the 91 Gottschalk coming in. Lanz is going to come in to pit road as well. Chad Cole, the 8, coming down pit road. Doug Roth in. Justin Wilson leaving pit road. So, again, there's only about 8 cars on the lead lap right now because we're in the middle of the cycle. And as soon as Vincent came down, everybody else came in behind him. I'm taking a look at Vincent on pit road, getting his service done to his race car at the moment. Possibly maybe getting a little bit of adjustments on that car. He's been the fastest car to this point in the race, and he's going to leave pit road first, I do believe, out of everybody else that came down with him.
Yeah, and as he exits pit road, if you look right now, the 26 car of Jose Gonzalez flies by. Now Dwayne Vincent sees that he will no longer be the leader as the 26 works his way down the backstretch well ahead of him, but Dwayne with the fresh tires will be coming up on him fast. So Dwayne coming out of pit stops will be second once the sequence rolls through. A couple of close calls, actually. The 82 of Doug Fleming got the wall right above Vincent, but was able to...
he's in the grass, too.
Yeah, he's completely sideways, trying to keep it steady and bringing it back up to speed. The number 82 just being a little bit cautious there after he got the wall. A lot of times it will upset your car for a good, a lap or two until you're able to get it squared away. So the 82 right now keeping it on the apron possibly hurt his car.
He wanted to get all the way out of the way, pretty much, of Vincent. He caught the wall, and you mentioned he really slowed that thing down because he didn't want to get back on the gas going to the corner, and just something wasn't right on the car and he'd spin it out. So he's slowly getting back up to speed. Precautious move, but that's going to lose him a lot of positions at the moment. Right now, your leader, the 25 car of Nick Silver, just exited pit road, which I do believe will end up putting in 26. Jose Gonzalez may be our leader once this all cycles through. After pitting before Vincent, he made up time on all these guys on those fresh tires, and that could put him into the lead spot, and it is at the moment.
Yeah, and something to look out for. Last lap, Jose Gonzalez went a 29.54. So as he is about 12 laps into this run, his car has already faded to times that are pretty close to what he's going to run for the rest of this run. Meanwhile, Dwayne Vincent, a second and a half back, his last lap was 29.07.
That's half a second.
Yes, so half a second right there, and that gap is going to close, but Dwayne will be losing time at a pretty natural slope, but he will be able to get to, Dwayne will be able to get to Jose certainly before the end of this run, and then we'll have to see if he'll be able to complete the pass, or if the 26 will be able to take advantage of that early jump start by pitting early, and once Dwayne's tires fall off, if he'll be able to actually keep the lead.
And definitely right now, out of the 35 cars that started this race, we have 18, I do believe, on the lead lap at this point. Last car on the lead lap, 25 seconds back. Chris Cable in the 05, Joey Gattina right now, the first car 1 lap down, and we have 5 cars 1 lap down, being Gattina, Roberts, Roth, Fleming, and Wyatt. So just another note to keep an eye on those guys, possibly battling each other for that lucky dog spot. If we do get a caution here, again, currently working on lap 73. Green flag is still out here of 130 laps at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, so we are well past the halfway point at this point in the race, and it is the 26 of Gonzalez up front, Dwayne Vincent second spot, the 58 of Wilson in third, 16 Steve Ritter fourth, 45 Cale Dresbeck in fifth, sixth position at 91 Steve Gottschalk, 15th Rhett McBride in the 7th spot right now, 8th spot the 8 of Chad Cole, 9th spot is the 25 of Nick Silver, and 10th place the 04 Mike King.
Yeah, actually, looking at that number 16 of Steve Ritter, he had a quiet move forward, and then I believe he short pitted by just a little bit, and Steve Ritter, currently running in 4th, was able to make up a lot of ground, only 4 seconds behind the leader right now. So Steve Ritter, who qualified, I didn't catch where he qualified, I think he started actually 27th, running 4th. So that is a big move forward for that number 16 of Steve Ritter. And I believe we will be taking a quick break from the action, and we will return to the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series after a word from our sponsors.
Plus other listeners where you could hear everything from big 80s metal to classic rock and roll, country radio, ETVLIVE, sports radio, even adult and unplugged rock and roll. HDRadioNetwork.com, one of the fastest growing internet radio networks, HDRadioNetwork.com. Take it with you, cowboy. Get the mobile app for Android, iPhone, iPad, and all the rest from TuneIn.com. If you're a serious online racing enthusiast, you need Derek Spear Design, maker of high-quality, custom-built, and 50 caliber strong simulation racing products like button boxes, shifter pedals, component parts, and more. The advantage a championship sim racing driver needs. Rated 10 out of 10 by Inside Sim Racing TV. Check out his line of top-shelf sim racing products reasonably priced at DerekSpearDesigns.com and buckle in for a no-nonsense ride. DerekSpearDesigns.com today, cowboy.
Back under the green flag, still here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway for ETV Live's live coverage of the 2013 Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series presented by Bob Earl Racing. Currently working lap 80 at the moment, or 81 rather, of 130. The leader is Jose Gonzalez. Second place, 15, Dwayne Vincent into an argument on the radio with the 29 of Mercer. We mentioned Vincent's been having some slight electrical problems until this point in the night. Nearly made contact with the 29, and they are exchanging some words over the radio right now. But again, currently working lap 81. Gonzalez just passed the stripe to take lap 82, and this is a long green flag run, Harrison.
Yeah, went through the whole pit stop sequence right there. So we have fully gone, or we've seen where these drivers are going to end up right now. Steve Ritter is still moving forward about 3.5 seconds back at the moment, but certainly, which was a big aid to Jose Gonzalez a few laps ago, was when Dwayne caught up with that lapped car, the 29 of Brennan Mercer. When Dwayne temporarily blinked out, Mercer came back down the track. I think a lot of people in that situation would have known that, it was an issue and stay high, but nonetheless, Dwayne Vincent had to check up and certainly lost a lot of time. But as he's actually starting to catch Jose Gonzalez once again, but he is a second back, so he's running out of time. That he has a tire advantage. Very soon, it will stabilize out as Justin Wilson, currently in third in the 58, simply not able to keep up with Dwayne Vincent at this moment. So it does appear to be a two-horse race for this run, but Steve Ritter right now is working on closing in on Justin Wilson, and if he is able to, that would be for third position.
Again, tonight's broadcast brought to you by ETV Live, and powering ETV Live is the HD Radio Network, the home of ETV Live Radio. The HD Radio Network gives you a variety of stations to choose from, including big 80s metal, all HDR classics, all HDR country, and more. Take your pick and rock your brains out, dude. The HD Radio Network stations are featured on iTunes Radio, TuneIn Radio, and also listed on the Windows Media Guide. Listen today from hdradionetwork.com, or take it with you. Get the mobile app today from tunein.com.
And the number 33 of David Lanza, I want to point out that he seemed to disappear, and the reason why was when he made his pit stop, he came in a little bit too hot. I think he got his car slowed down just enough, but possibly had a wrong RPM reading, or was just forgot which RPM to be at, but he was actually about 5 miles per hour over the speed limit for a couple of seconds, and then realized his mistake and hit the brakes pretty hard, but it was a little bit too late. So a 15-second penalty for David Lanza because he was speeding on entry. So he was able to serve that penalty as he gets really loose out of turn number 2. And the 36 hits the inside wall in front of him, keeps it to the apron. I'm not sure if we're going to have a caution. I think we're going to stay green. Rich Jet goes around and gets some heavy damage, but basically, but...
I mean, that's the second time we've seen that off turn 2. A car, he didn't quite catch the wall. Well, he got loose and overcorrected and got into the wall, and really just kind of progressively went into the wall, trying to get a handle on this car. And good job, he locked up the tires, didn't go back out into traffic, and now he's down on pit road. Oh, he actually just slid through his pit stall, so 36 down pit road for repairs, no caution.
Yeah, what happened to the 36 car, what happened there was when he comes out of turn number 2, he started pushing really hard. The car started pushing its way up the racetrack, and so he put a lot more wheel into it, and then as he came closer and closer to the wall, the back end stepped out as the banking went away from his car, and when he corrected the wheel, he didn't correct very hard, but right on exit, the cars are very, very sensitive, and the left rear tire will grab occasionally. So when he countersteered a little bit at that part of the track, he was heavy on the gas, and the left rear shot him straight into the wall. So certainly turn 2 is possibly the most treacherous part of the track so far this race.
Again, Dwayne Vincent's slight electrical issues continue, but something that's not affecting his car because he's only 4/10 away from Jose Gonzalez and closing that gap quickly. Vincent may be looking to come by Jose Gonzalez and retake that first position here in not too long, as he's really been on the binders, getting up to that 2060's last few laps. He's going to cut that distance almost in half again this time by. Going to update the scoring 3/10 back this time by. So Vincent looking to challenge for the lead.
And something helping Dwayne Vincent is as he gets closer to that 26 car, his lap times are able to step up just a little bit. That little bit of draft actually does make a difference with these Cup cars, and certainly if he's feeling loose at all, it'll help his right front tire gain some heat and bring some stability back to him. But last lap, Dwayne Vincent able to gain more than a 10th. I think with the lap traffic this lap, Jose was able to pull away with about 400ths. But right now, we are riding on board with the number 13 at Dwayne Vincent, taking a look at his line, seeing how or where he gains all of his time and where he doesn't. But right now, this is as close as he has been to the leader all run, and certainly he wants to get by as quick as possible and try to get some kind of edge.
And definitely mentioned the lap car 37. Ben Burnett may have been why Vincent really didn't get as much time as he did the lap before that. When the scoring updates, it's 0.30 seconds back at this point. So he made up a little bit of time that time around, but really didn't get that big jump like we saw in the previous lap. So he's probably just trying to get back in his swing of things at this point in the race. And they continue to chip away because he's slowly closing in there on Jose Gonzalez as we continue to work under the green flag again. And I mean, this really is a long green flag run. You see that dual shot camera there out the front and out the back. Gonzalez looking at Vincent, Vincent looking at Gonzalez there. But continuing to work, Vincent is chipping away at it, and he's going to get a big run here off too. And this 13 is charging forward.
Yeah, it appears that the pit stop window is somewhere around 55, 56 laps. So with that being said, we're more than halfway through this run right now, so they should be pretty close to even as far as tires. But Dwayne Vincent is just showing why he has won 10 races out of his 24 starts right now, as he is inching closer and closer to that back end of the 26, right now within a 10th and a half, about 2 or 3 car lengths as they work around some more lap traffic. This is the 82 of Doug Fleming way up high, staying completely out of their way, trying not to hold up as he lifts a little bit down the front stretch to let the 13 have the groove entering turn number 1. So Dwayne Vincent working his way as close as he can to that tied ride up front.
And again, you mentioned Dwayne Vincent. Let's run you guys through and explain the points again. Remember, 2 to go until the chase. Vincent and Cole sit 1-2 in the points. Dwayne Vincent 10 wins. Chad Cole 7. These drivers in the top 10, they will get bonus points for every win that they have. So Vincent and Cole really can go checkers or records here and basically just try to get an extra bonus point going into the chase, because they're not going to drop out of the top 10. They're locked in by the points. So Chad Cole, one driver that's won 4 races in the last month and a half, trying to chip away from Dwayne Vincent, sitting in 7th. But Vincent looking for win number 11 on the season. That is almost half of the races. So Dwayne Vincent and Chad Cole have definitely got a great team behind them, and they know how to drive a race car.
And actually, as I quickly did some fuel calculations, Jose Gonzalez cannot make this race on fuel. However, there are some drivers who have a slight possibility of being able to go the rest of this distance. With this long green flag run, there are only 32 laps to go this time by, and I actually believe that Jose will probably pit and get tires, might get 4 tires and try to make up all the time that he can, because he does have to pit about 8 or 10 laps before a lot of these guys. But for Dwayne Vincent and everyone else, they're cutting it pretty close. Some guys might have an outside shot of saving enough fuel. I personally don't think we'll see anyone make the distance. but strategy can get really, really interesting should we go green to the end, because Dwayne will be faced with the decision of, do I take 2? How much gas do I take? I think you'll see a lot of guys, I think you'll see a few guys gas and go should we go the distance under the green flag, but you'll see a number of guys get right side tires and just enough fuel that it doesn't loosen them up completely. But it's a risky thing. You take 2 tires here on a track that wears the tires this much, and they will be out of control until about a lap or 2 when they're able to get the tires equalized.
And definitely Vincent 2 car lengths off of Gonzalez, one half a car length, and now nearly on the back bumper of Jose Gonzalez, crossed the stripe. The 13, Dwayne Vincent, looking to the bottom into turn number 1. Going to throw it down there in that bottom groove. The 26 is going to hold the middle. They're side by side in the corner, a car length in between both of them. Dwayne Vincent getting the run off of the bottom, and he's going to clear the 26. No, he's not going to come up yet. Jose Gonzalez not going to give up just quite yet. And now the 26 is going to pull back in line. Vincent to the lead.
Yeah, textbook pass by Dwayne Vincent coming out of 4. He got that nice run out of turn 4. And as he got that big run down the front stretch, he looked low. I thought, hey, maybe we might see a textbook crossover from the 26 of Jose Gonzalez, but Jose probably content with where he is right now. He probably saw Dwayne a little bit faster. He knows he has to pit shortly, and it might be that if he has to pit, he wants to pit from behind Dwayne rather than in front of him, as the 36 of Rich Jet gets it to the outside wall a little bit in front of these guys, but stays out of their way, so no incident up there. But Dwayne Vincent back to the lead after Jose Gonzalez leads a number of laps in a row, I think over 30.
And definitely, again, looking for a bonus point, leading most laps. Jose Gonzalez, 1 win on the season at this point, 7th in the point, so a bonus point couldn't help, or wouldn't hurt, rather, going into that chase. And he is, looking at the numbers, locked in as well. Again, we're also going to keep an eye on these guys around the 10th spot as we continue to work our way through. Mike King, who can enter tonight 10th position, is sitting 10th on the racetrack. A guy that entered here 9th in the points. However, not as fortunate. Mark Bradshaw, 28th, 19 lap down. So I can guarantee you there's going to be some shuffling in the points after tonight's race, and we still have a lot of racing to go at this point. And then Richmond next week is going to be crazy with those guys battling for that 10th spot. I can guarantee it. Vincent up front, he's going to actually get passed by a lap car of Steven Almendo. Almendo's going to take one of his laps back after pitting not too long ago. So Steven Almendo now 20th position, 1 lap down. But Vincent's 3/10 ahead of Gonzalez. Gonzalez really not falling back too much, but it looks like Dwayne Vincent's Ford Fusion is definitely the fastest car on the track at this point.
Yeah, Dwayne is enjoying that clean air, and it doesn't appear that any of these top guys are saving. Based on my calculations, I do think that they were more than 5 laps short. So I think for the guys who pitted on the lap 10 caution, I think they can make it to around lap 125. But Jose Gonzalez, I think, will be making his way to pit road within 10 laps. So Jose will likely be just hoping, I'm not sure if he'll need a caution or not. The question is he put into a box to take 4 tires compared to the guys who can go 10 laps further? So Jose might lose this race based on having to pit earlier because he can't just splash and go. But it'll be interesting to see who chooses what. As there is some action around the track and a couple of cars certainly pretty loose, but these guys have done a great job this run, and most of the field is spread out, so I think we have a good chance of seeing this race play out naturally, and if it does, it will be very interesting. And real quick, I want to point out the number 8 of Chad Cole, who did not catch that caution, has simply made up a lot of ground with these pit stops and everything, and he is currently running in the 6th position, so it could have been really bad when he got together with Mark Bradshaw, able to recover. Certainly not within range of a win right now, but he is in range of a win should we get a caution.
And he's about to pass the 45 of Cale Dressback, I do believe, for that 5th spot, so you got to wonder if the 8 was not involved in that incident, would he be up front right now, because he's definitely got a bad, fast race car Right now, again, you mentioned Gonzalez is put in a tough situation here because if he pits earlier, some of these guys aren't running the iRacing spotter. They got real crew chiefs and spotters spectating the race, doing the calculations. He's not going to stay there and get a full tank of fuel, but he'll have to stay a little bit longer than these other drivers, which could pretty much... Oh, here he goes. We're going to see what happens. The 26, Jose Gonzalez, announcing that he's going to have to pit right now, lap 109 with 21 to go. Going to follow him down pit road, relinquishing that second spot. Let's keep an eye on Gonzalez as he works his way down pit road.
And he went about, I want to say that he short pit by about maybe 2, 3, maybe even 5 laps. So I think he's going to pit a little bit early to take full advantage of fresher tires. We'll have to see if they come around and take 4. Certainly I expect to see right sides bare minimum. I'm not, yeah, and then as the jack lifts the right side of the car up. The 26 on pit road, what is he going to do? He will take 4.
Four tires.
4 tires for the 26, and he's going to try to use them to their full advantage. And I think while he pitted a couple laps early, I do think that the rest of the field will have to pit. It's close. It's very close. I think some of the guys might have been 5 laps short, but I just don't think they had enough to save 5 laps. So should we stay green, I do believe we'll see guys start pitting fairly soon.
And that could be why we saw a whole bunch of people pit there on lap 5, maybe or around lap 6 or so when the first caution came out, maybe hoping that they could cut it to a 2-stop race. Unfortunately, with no caution laps, I'm sure these guys were anticipating a few of them. They might have been able to make that distance. However, with this green flag run since lap 10, we've run over 100 laps under the green flag since our one and only caution early on in the race. They're just not going to make it. You have to take an eye. Gonzalez right now is the second car, 1 lap down. So if the caution were to come out now, that could really be a tough break for that 26 team. Meanwhile, let's see how long it takes for the 13 of Vincent to come down pit road, as there are 10 cars on the lead lap. And oh, by the way, Chad Cole is in 4th.
Yeah, Chad Cole with a great comeback. Also, Steve Ritter did not have any incidents on the track, but up to 2nd in the order as we stand right now. Jose Gonzalez, last lap,
1.1 seconds faster.
1.1 seconds faster, 11 tenths. So you could just see just how much these tires mean.
47, Eric Arnold, last car on the lead lap, 10th position, announces that he will be coming down pit road. This time by off turn 4, the 47 of the Navy Nuke of Eric Arnold, coming down pit road at 45 miles an hour, perfectly timed, no speeding penalty unless he speeds out of pit road. And I wonder if he's going to take 4 tires as well. I'm sure he has some spotters that have been taking an eye on what the other cars have been doing. Let's see, the 47 is going to pull into his pit box, stops it on the money. The right side is, left side is going to go up. 2 tires on the left side, Sunoco Field, no right side tires, and 2 tire stop for Eric Arnold.
Yeah, with the 2 left sides that he took, so I've seen people actually mistakenly take left sides thinking that they selected right side, but they actually unchecked left sides thinking that they were checking them. But I don't know if that was a mistake, because this is a really interesting track, and with how loose it can be on right sides, that actually might have been intentional just to get left sides, because usually when you take only left sides, it will actually stabilize your car, but what it usually does is it will make you too tight. So it'll be interesting to see how it works out for Eric Arnold. Certainly looks very stable on the track right now. I'm not sure what times he'll be capable of. That's actually something I haven't really tried. But right now the 13 of Dwayne Vincent still staying out, with coming around next time by will be 13 laps to go. So he's just hoping that whatever strategy he chooses ends up being the right strategy. He has a 4-second lead on Steve Ritter, but for all intents and purposes, it will be a 2-horse race between him and Jose Gonzalez, as none of the guys behind him that were within range short pit as much as Jose did.
It'll be interesting to see how this works out. A race that involves 1 caution early on and green flag all the way possibly to the checkers can really showcase driver and crew chief communication and strategy with the race cars. It'll be interesting to see how this all shakes out. Again, right now, 9 cars on the lead lap, being Vincent, Ritter, Wilson, Cole, McBride, Dresbach, Silver, Gottschalk, and David Lanza. Gonzalez actually running down Gatina. So Gonzalez is actually going to take the 10th spot not too long here from the 14 and will be the first car 1 lap down, which pretty much helps him out if a caution were to fly. With merely 13 laps to go, actually it's going to be 11 to go as Vincent crosses the stripe this time by, and he has not announced that he's pitting yet. Second place car, Steve Ritter, is going to come down pit road this time by.
Yeah, Steve Ritter heading down pit road, and there's a little bit, he does not want to speed on pit road, and he gets it slowed down in time. Pit road speed limit of 45 miles an hour. We'll have to see what he does. But I was just thinking to myself, if I was in Dwayne Vincent, you have 10 wins on the season, and what you have to do is actually left sides for Steve Ritter as well.
Yeah.
So interesting strategy call right there. But if I am Dwayne Vincent, I have to think that if I want to win this race and get the extra bonus point headed into the chase for having another win, it must be a 2-tire stop. 4 tires he will not be able to catch Jose Gonzalez should we go cautionless. So if you're Dwayne Vincent, you have to roll with 2 tires because where he finishes is sort of irrelevant at this point. He is locked into the chase for sure. He's locked into the top 10, so he will have his bonus points. So I'd expect Dwayne Vincent to take 2. If he goes with the right sides, he only wants to add just enough gas to finish this race, so possibly 3 gallons. So it'll be interesting to see what he rolls with. But, you know, with the second car that we've seen take only left sides, there might be something to it. I'll have to check to see what kind of lap time Steve Ritter is able to put up right now.
Definitely Jose Gonzalez is in front of Steve Ritter, so Steve Ritter was 4 seconds back of Dwayne Vincent. Gonzalez is more than 4 seconds ahead of Ritter. So Vincent, you mentioned points really don't matter for him. He's at the top. He has 10 wins. The saying if you're not first, you're last pretty much is dead on here for Vincent because points don't matter anything for him. He's going for the win. Now we're hearing the 33 David Lanza is going to come down pit road. This time by from the 7th position, who was the last car on the lead lap, which will leave 6 drivers on the lead lap at this point. Vincent still staying out, coming to take about 7 to go. And here we go, Dwayne Vincent off turn 4 actually. Going to come down pit road. Maybe came in a little hot. He's actually going to get down to speed in time. Almost got in the grass. And this is the money stop. Let's see what happens. Dwayne Vincent, his crew getting ready on the wall. This is the pit stop of the night. The 13 Ford Fusion Javelin of Dwayne Vincent working his way down pit road at 45 miles an hour, no more, no less, into that final pit stall, taking a look. No tire stop for Dwayne Vincent, gas and go. He's going for it.
Yeah, gas and go. I was taking a look at Steve Ritter's lap times, and I'm pretty sure that the left side's tires are good for stability, but not good for speed. I don't think it's helping them. As I hear the number 8 of Chad Cole down pit road as well. We saw Dwayne Vincent get in there really, really hot. He knew that he had to get everything out of that car at entry to have a shot at winning this race, and he was able to slow it down in time. Chad Cole is a gas and go as well, and he will be on his way. Dwayne Vincent, we'll have to see where he is on this track right now. I do not see, I believe Dwayne Vincent with the gas and go was able to stay ahead
almost
of Jose Gonzalez.
Yeah, Gonzalez going into turn 1 right now. Vincent pretty much coming off turn 2. I don't really have an accurate description of Vincent's lap times quite yet because he's still getting up to speed last time by, but last time across the stripe, Jose Gonzalez 5 seconds behind Vincent, and Jose Gonzalez's 4 tires pretty much that extreme speed difference that he would have gained has worn off at this point in the race because he's gone at least 10 laps on those tires, and he's 5 seconds behind Vincent, so Vincent just might get this thing done. To 91 Gottschalk pitting from the 3rd position, so Nick Silver in the 2nd position is going to come down, or Nick Silver's actually going to become the leader, and the 15 of Rhett McBride is on pit road, so I do believe the 25 of Silver is the only car that needs the pit.
I tell you, Dwayne Vincent made the call that will probably win him this race. Next flag ends the race. There will be 4 laps to go. As we saw Rhett McBride come down pit road, the only thing is that Dwayne needs the 25, I believe, of Nick Silver to come down pit road as well in order to inherit this lead. But Dwayne Vincent, when he does a gas and go, his pit stop took about 2 seconds, I would say. And compared to Jose, his pit stop was probably in the neighborhood of 13. So an 11-second difference in pit stop time. Jose pretty much in a box to take 4 because of how short on fuel he was, or at least 2 tires. But Dwayne right now, probably, you could say that Jose Gonzalez probably made up about 6 or 7 seconds with his tires until they evened out. And Dwayne right now is running about the same lap times as the 26. So Dwayne is in a great position to win this race by about 4 seconds.
25 race leader Nick Silver on the top of the racetrack has not come down pit road just yet. Lap 129. Vincent closing quickly on Silver. Silver possibly trying to make it on gas. He's rather slow on the top of the racetrack. Here comes Dwayne Vincent. Vincent coming on the bottom side by side for the lead off turn number 4. Dwayne Vincent to the lead as the white flag is out at Atlanta Motor Speedway. It is a race. The 25 Nick Silver pretty much trying to coast this car around, tried to make it on fuel for the win. He couldn't get it done. Nick Silver really trying to possibly get a win to get any sort of chase hopes. That is going to go down the drain. Dwayne Vincent working through turns 3 and 4. Jose Gonzalez is not going to get to him. And for the 11th time this season, Dwayne Vincent to victory lane.
Dwayne Vincent, he just got that lead with a lap to go. Nick Silver was stretching it. He was not saving a lot over the coast of the or over the course of most of the run, but he saved a lot.
One lap short.
In about 15 laps leading up to that. Nick Silver will cross the line in the 6th position, so I think his gamble paid off. I do think he got at least 1 spot by trying to go the distance. Fell about a lap short, but a good move for Nick Silver. Dwayne Vincent, call of the race, able to get that lead, able to stretching it as far as he did, go with the gas and go, and he was able to win this race. Certainly very entertaining finish there between the varying strategies, but Nick Silver gets past for the lead with 1 lap to go, coming out of 4, and Dwayne Vincent just keeps it home from there. So a really impressive 11th win on the season for Dwayne.
And definitely other drivers running out of gas too. They tried to make it. At the end of the day, Vincent's going to be the one that makes the right call. So 1 caution early on in this race. Green flag all the way to the finish. It's Vincent going to victory lane after making a no-tire call. Gonzalez couldn't get it done. Finishes 4 seconds back in the 2nd position. Don't go anywhere. We're going to step away, take another quick commercial break, and we're going to come back for the post-race show and driver interviews. We'll be right back.
It's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Drivers, start your engines!
Michael Conti comes up at a corner number 4, and the checkered flag, he wins his first NASCAR iRacing.
Inside SimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
And welcome back to the Atlanta Motor Speedway, ETV Live's live coverage of the 2013 Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series is about to draw to a close. After 130 laps, it is Dwayne Vincent going to go to victory lane. However, I'm down here on pit road with our third place finisher, the number 20, or third place finisher rather, the number 8 of Chad Cole. Cole sitting second in points right now. You're pretty much just going for a win. Couldn't quite get it done. We saw you had some issues mid-race. You managed to drive your way through the field. Can you talk us through that?
Yeah, kind of bummed out we didn't get a caution there. I don't know what happened with Mark and I haven't seen a replay. I think we both got loose and kind of met somewhere in the middle and made contact there. Wow, I haven't had to drive that hard in a long time. That was really tough.
And we definitely knew you had the speed. You were the fastest car in practice. You didn't quite get the qualifying run that you wanted. Did you just mess up in one of the corners, or what happened there in qualifying?
Yeah, I messed up big time in turn 2. It's very easy to get this thing loose with all the power it has. There's not a whole lot of grip. The track is really bumpy, and you're really fighting the car the entire time.
Well,
It's
you
actually
mentioned
quite fun.
well, you mentioned you didn't get that caution, and I'll tell you, you dropped back to about the 20th position, or even further back than that. Correct me if I'm wrong. You drove your way up with no caution and finished third. If you got even one caution, do you think you'd be in victory lane because you definitely had a fast car?
I don't know. I still would have had to pass Dwayne. I mean, that would be no easy task by any means. But yeah, I felt I had a pretty good chance coming in tonight. I felt I had good handle on the track and was making good pace and practice there. Really thought I had something again for Dwayne tonight, but yeah, just had that slip off turn 2 there.
And next week we're going to be going to Richmond, the last race of the regular season. You're really only going for wins at this point, trying to get any bonus points. What do you think you can do there?
Richmond is not really my favorite track. I'm not really a big fan of the short tracks, but we had a good run there in the spring, so hopefully we can get another W, get some more bonus points, like you mentioned, toward the chase.
Well, after nearly wrecking off turn 2, a top 3 is not bad at all. What challenge you want to throw out there?
Yeah, I need to thank John Cadell for spotting for me tonight. He's kind of on an RSR redemption tour, if you will, after he got suspended earlier this year. So it's great to have him back. He's on the tower spotting for me. I need to thank hippiespaintshop.com for sponsoring me, Bob Earl Race Chassis for sponsoring this awesome Full Throttle Cup series, you guys at ETV Live, and of course the admins at RSR for coming up with this great series.
Well, congrats on your top 3 finish and good luck next week.
Thanks, Evan.
And now, Harrison, I do believe you are down there on pit road, caught up with our second place finisher, Jose Gonzalez.
Yeah, I've caught up with Jose, and who stayed out on the first caution, and who would have thought that it would be the final caution of the race. So certainly put him into a box with the strategy, but a great duel with the 13 of Dwayne Vincent throughout the race. A really nice battle. And Jose, what are your thoughts about the race? What do you take from a solid second place finish?
Well, I'm happy with the second place. I did make that, I guess, mistake by staying out. I just wanted to lead one lap, and I thought there would be more cautions to come. So, during the race, that's what got me at the end. I ended up having to pit 20 laps earlier and take 4 tires. So, when I came out, I was already behind. Story of my racing life.
Yeah, certainly having to pit much earlier, you were definitely boxed into tires. Were 2 tires a possibility for strategy at the end with maybe a little less fuel to tighten it up, or was it basically that you were going to have to take so much fuel that you needed 4?
It was possible. I did practice with the 2 tires, and but I didn't think about it. I just went for 4 to get the speed, but I ran out of time.
I see that you have moved up to 6th in the points, I believe. Yes, you have moved up to 6th in the points with 1 win on the year, which I believe is a bonus point heading into the chase. And looking at the chase, do you have any favorite tracks that you're really looking forward to, and how do you rate your chances at possibly competing for that championship?
Well, all the 1.5 tracks, the cookie cutters, like Atlanta, Texas, and Michigan, all those tracks I'm pretty good at. And what I don't like is the track that anything can happen. You know, I rather take control of my own destiny. So you know, I have good hopes for the chase. The regular season, I'm driving with 2 races less than everybody else, so I think I can hang with these guys.
And as you definitely shown tonight with a very solid finish and competing for the win all race long. But who would you like to thank? Who makes it happen for you?
hippiespaintshop.com, facebook.com/hippiespaintshop, and Axel Sanitary, New Jersey. They sponsor my car, so I'm appreciated about that, and RSR and John Abbott and all the admins.
That's Jose Gonzalez, our second place finisher tonight, and I believe Evan Pasoko has caught up with our winner, Dwayne.
Yeah, here's a shocker down in the Atlanta Motor Speedway victory lane. Dwayne Vincent's going to pick up race win number 11 on the season. Dwayne, you were shuffling back and forth there with Jose on different fuel and tire strategies. You made the call of no tires at the end that ended up getting you the win. Were you considering tires at all?
No, not really. I knew I couldn't take any. I was concerned about that. I didn't know how I was going to handle. But it worked out, man. Thank God.
And definitely, and did you? I'm gonna be honest here. I didn't think we were gonna go 120 plus laps here. Green flag run. Were you trying to maybe pit there early on in the race to possibly make it a 2-stop race?
Well, I think we had the first caution around lap 10 or so when Jose stayed out. And I kind of thought the same way as Jose. I said, man, we're going to have more cautions, you know. But I was very surprised that it went green from there. But you know, it could have went either way.
Yeah, definitely. Taking a look at the updated point standings, you're 15 points ahead of Chad Cole. Doesn't really matter because all you guys are really battling for are those bonus points. You're going to pick up win number 11 on the season. Next week, we're going to Richmond. Do you think you can possibly get one more win and a couple more bonus points going into the chase there?
Richmond's going to be a tough race, man. It always is. Short track. It's kind of slick. I'll try my best, man. See what happens.
Well, congrats on another great victory, and good luck next week. Any shout-out you want to throw out there?
I just want to say thanks to all my teammates, Bob Earl, all the guys at RSR, all you guys at ETV, and all the lap cars. A lot of guys gave me a lot of room. A few didn't, but that's all right. But it was a fun race, man. I enjoyed it.
And that was Dwayne Vincent going to victory lane again. The 2013 Railsim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series brought to you by Bob Earl Racing and the VRC Mark II Virtual Racing Seat. It is a simulation racing cockpit designed by championship race car driver Bob Earl. Who better than a real race car driver to design a simulation racing cockpit? After all, he knows what it means to be comfortable behind the wheel. The design features a fully adjustable seat and frame. Additional monitor stand and shifter mounts are sold separately. Proud sponsor of the 2013 RSR Full Throttle Cup Series. It is a high quality and affordable virtual racing cockpit priced at just $349 plus shipping. See it today at www.bobearlracing.com. Harrison, the winner again at the end of the chase, is going to take one of those bad boys home free of charge. To sum things up here, what was your take on tonight's race?
Yeah, well, first of all, that's a great prize, and tonight was just a really interesting race. Atlanta is certainly one of the toughest 1.5 milers that we go to. Tire spin can just wreak havoc on your handling, and so one of the tougher tracks on the circuit, and with over 30 cars starting this race, to only have one caution was really great to see. It was very entertaining to watch. Multiple strategies. The top 5 all pretty much had a shot at competing for this win. So it was really just a great show.
And again, another great night in the books here for the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series. That's going to do it for us. For JD Webb Engineering, John Westling down there in the production hauler as well, Laura Lawson on the cameras, for all the drivers and the admins at RSR, for Harrison Weidlitz joining me up in the booth. My name is Evan Pasoko, and we are going to see you guys next week when the RSR season closes out its regular season at Richmond. We'll see you then.